Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your author Mark coming to you with another interesting YouTube discussion. Now, this video we're going to call it What is Really Going On in Eastern Europe? And I'm going to start this discussion this way. The reason I ask what is really going on in Eastern Europe because I could not believe this. A couple of days ago, Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine signed an agreement with United States to actually give the Americans access to their natural resources, such as and precious metals like cobalt, um, all kinds of things. Now, my question in this case becomes: in reality, has Ukraine, in its desperate need for security, surrendered to the globalists, ladies and gentlemen? Because okay, some of you may not like my videos, okay, and you may not agree. We may not always agree on things, but here's the thing. Um, Here's the thing. You know, now should Ukraine trade with the United States? Should, for example, Ukraine sell the precious metals like platinum, like lithium and all that stuff, those precious metals to the United States? Should it actually sell them for money? Yes. Should Ukraine continue to trade with United States? That's a definite yes. But here's what I'm driving at, because in my opinion, and this is my opinion only, once you give access to your precious metals with uh, you know uh, you know because there's a difference with giving access to your precious metals and resource what you call natural resources uh, to a country. You're basically, in my opinion, you basically have surrendered your sovereignty of your nation to nations to the globalists. Now, the other thing is, because look, I understand that Ukraine is in a state of war and they're in need, you know, in need of protection and all that. But reality, you have to realize sometimes that, what are you willing to do for your own security? Now, they basically signed basically, in my opinion, they signed, Ukrainians in this case signed away their natural sovereignty when it comes to the control of their precious metals, such as chromium and all these other things. Now, the other thing is, the other question becomes: should Poland continue uh, to actually help out the Ukrainian people? And there's look, I understand that Ukrainians are desperate, but here's the deal, and here's my concern when I was doing this research. Here's my concern. Here's the thing. Poland itself does not have the heavy industry to actually meet their defensive needs, their economic needs, and all the other needs. Now, here's the thing, and here's why I'm asking this question: should Poland continue to help Ukraine in their desperate hour? And in this case, I would have to say no, because and here's the deal, because although although I'm at this point, the way it looks, unfortunately, Ukraine will partially, in my opinion, partially or it will equivocally lose this war against Russia. I mean, or they're going to get a stalemate, one or the other. But here's the deal. Here's my concern, and unfortunately, in this case, Poland, the country of Poland, should become basically selfish, and in this case, Poland should stop caring about immigrants from that country, immigrants from this country. The only time at this time Poland should care about is themselves. They should start rebuilding their own, for example, naval power. They should start rebuilding their aviation power, which Polish people are very capable of. Because a couple of days ago, I was watching a great interview with Mr. Henryk Bernawicki. He was the chief designer of the IRIDA program in WSK Mielec, which is their aviation, and he was the chief designer of that aircraft, and I mean, because Polish people should start worrying about, what if, okay, I mean, because you have to, Polish people should start worrying about what if Vladimir Putin comes to my border. What am I going to do? So in this case, Poland should become a little bit more, as they say, selfish, and start and get their defensive industry up the snuff, because I don't. How do I put this so people don't get mad at me? I look. It is great that Poland is a NATO member and all this stuff, but Poland itself has not learned from its history that even when the Germans and the Soviets invaded Poland in 1939 on both sides, in reality, nobody helped Poland. So obviously, should Poland be part of NATO? Yes, but they should also develop their own heavy industry, develop their own, redevelop their own automotive industry that they used to have, and all these wonderful things. Now, but some people may say, "Oh, we want to help people and all that stuff." That is also great, but from what's going on in Poland and in Ukraine and all these other things, in this case, unfortunately, Poland has to look out in this case for its own people and its own sovereignty, because in reality, it's now the question is Vladimir Putin going to invade? It's not a question of if, in my opinion, and all the research I have done, but it's a question of when. Now, I know I'm going to hear from a lot of people that, statistically, Poland's doing good, the economy's great, Polish people have jobs and all that stuff. Look, I can read statistics and I can read data, I can read tables, because I've studied, I've had a few semesters of economic classes, and I did study accounting for a semester. Okay, so I can certainly read the data. But what you have to remember is, ladies and gentlemen, is that paper will accept whatever you write on it. So, I mean, statistics and all that other mumbo jumbo is great, but the whole deal is, and now Poland, what's going on in Poland now is that they're either because they're part of the so-called European Union, is there's a desperate thing going on in Parliament that Poland is either going to have to accept the migrants, or they're going to start paying stiff fines. Now there's another question that comes to mind. Is being a member of such organizations such as the European Union and what do we call and NATO a benefit or a hindrance to Poland? And unfortunately, being a member of the European Union itself, I think this has been for Poland, being a member of the European Union has been more of a hindrance, in my opinion, than a help in develop their own, for example, military technology, their automotive technology, their basically electronic technology. So in my opinion, being for Poland, being a member of the European Union itself, it is a more of a hindrance than a help. So if you guys like this video, you can give me thumbs up. You can actually subscribe to my channel. You can reach out to me on Facebook, Twitter, and all those other things. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you in the next